respected members, members in industry, respected dignitaries, my past president B.M. Sharma sir. Mr. B.M. Sharma is known to us and he is a fighter for our profession. I had a chance to work with him since long, and reading his profile here will not be appropriate, and it will be only to show his work which he has carried out since the inception of his position in the institute level as a vice president or as a president. Before that, let me brief you about his certain positions. He is a fellow member of not only of our institute but also the member of Institute of Public Accountants of Australia. He is also fellow member of the Certified Management Accountants of Sri Lanka. He is a very senior practicing member of our institute, practicing in the core areas of direct and indirect taxation with strategic planning, focus in the area of VAT and GST. He has held lot of positions in the various committees of the institute, and he has been also on the board of directors of many good public sector undertakings like IRCON. He is also the regular visiting faculties to lot of bar associations, Chamber of Commerce, our sister bodies and our sister institutes, seminars and workshops. He is a teacher for us who guides us in our endeavor to increase the scope of our practice area. Basically, B.M. Sharma, I know him since last 15 years, and I had a chance to work with him when he was elected to the Central Council for the first time. His only focus was only to how to increase the base of our profession in the practice area, and also how to increase the focus of our members in industry. And in that direction, he was present when the institute was ICWA, and when he left the institute, he managed to get it done as ICAI. And it was only his efforts along with the then efforts of all the Central Council members, some good wishes and well-wishers of our members, our friends in government, which helped us to change our institute's name, although there was a lot of resistance. But somewhere we managed, and B.M. Sharma, under the leadership of B.M. Sharma sir, we tried to achieve that. Then came the issue of, and in those period itself, there was a fight was going on in between the institute level for the recognition of our profession in the area of VAT. And at that time, he travelled all over the country only to see that our cost accountant's name gets included in the list of recognition for conducting the VAT audit. And now, I don't say that it was only his effort, it was a total composite effort of all the institute level and all that. But somehow we could manage to include our name in the list of VAT, except 2-3 states were left. And now we have to play the role in the GST in the coming days. And from that angle, although he has been the president of our institute, now he doesn't have any role to play, but still he is playing his role just like Tendulkar is playing role out of the field. So we consider him as a Sachin Tendulkar of our profession, and I wish his efforts in focusing the GST area for our profession will certainly bring good results. Our profession will be very major and large role to play in the GST regime. I would like to felicitate him on this occasion.
As for me, because I am coming in between the lunch and this session. And I hope that in the morning time a very good breakfast was served here. So all of you will be bear with me for this. Thank you, Sriram, for nice introduction. Thank you very much. And friends, actually, generally, wherever I go on institute platform, I always request that cut short my introduction because everybody knows me. First of all, let me thank WRC for arranging this GST awareness workshop and congratulate CMA Ashok Naval for that. This is the second consecutive seminar at national level has been organized. With this, friends, let's start with the session on the GST, which is a tax of the 21st century. And we are the fortunate enough, I will say that the people who is born after 1990 is lucky enough to see this, because the people who is born prior to 1990 have seen the different structure of the indirect taxation. We have seen the RST, we have seen the single levy of taxation under the sales tax, then we have seen the VAT, we have seen the central excise, we have seen the service tax as well. But now this is a new and last reform in the commodity taxation is going to come in the name of GST. So I call it the tax of the 21st century. विमल जैन साहब आपने एग्जाम्पल दिया राजस्थान का और मैं रहता हूँ महाराष्ट्र में. हमारे महाराष्ट्र में घूंघट नहीं है, हम लोग सब ट्रांसपेरेंट ज्यादा बिलीव करते हैं. तो मेरा ये जीएसटी के बारे में जो मैंने लिखा हुआ है, रोज के अंदर छोटी छोटी सी रेडी, जो नीचे क्या है और कैसे आने वाली किसी को पता नहीं, ना किसी को एक्ट पता है, ना किसी को रूल पता है. जो भी कुछ हमें पता है, थोड़ा बहुत जो कुछ हमने जाना है, समझा है थ्रू कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन अमेंडमेंट बिल और जो भी कुछ पब्लिक दे रही है, तो इसीलिए मैंने जस्ट लिखा है उसको. अब आपको जवाब दे रहा हूँ. सर, दिस इज व्हाट डिफरेंट कल्चर बिटवीन राजस्थान एंड महाराष्ट्र. Serious friends, let's have the look on the GST. My station, introduction to GST, GST coverage, model in India, how it will be implemented, constitutional amendment framework, and the tax mechanism and IPC. First of all, let me thank Vimalji because he has little my job is very easy, and some of the points which he has covered while talking about the current taxes scenario, how it will be addressed in the GST. So friends, just going forward, I'll just quickly touch upon some of the issues. Constitutional background. Friends, India, that is Bharat. Many of us not knowing, we always talk about ourselves India, but no, we have been actually defined as a Bharat, shall be the Union of States, Article 1 by 1. And Article 246, read with the section Schedule 7, use bifurcation of powers between the Union and state. The list 1 which talks about taxation of the goods covered under the list 1. Second is state list, third is a concurrent list. The taxation income list is already covered income tax, custom duty, excise duty, interstate taxes, that is CST, tax on services, entry 92C, but not an effective powers has been given to the state. Entry 97, any other matter not included in the list 1 and list 2 has been the domain of the central government. As far as the state list is concerned, we are aware that we have the agriculture income entry 46, then excise on alcoholic liquor, offering and narcotics at the entry 51, then octrine entry tax entry 52, sale within the state entry 54 of the constitution. Now categories of the sale. I am just going quickly to directly come on the main topic. These are the three types of the sale which can be classified in the three types. One is interstate sale, another is sale in the course of import and export, and the last one is intrastate within the state sale. So we have the interstate sale, that is CST, we have import export, and we have the local sale or within the state sale. Categories of services, very very important because we are going to see the GST, goods and service tax. The services can also be classified in the three categories. One is interstate services. This is a very very important bone of contention in the GST. Services in the course of import and export, and intrastate within the state services. Friends, just see the presently Indian structure, tax structure in India. Central VAT, that is we call it central excise duty, which the central VAT does not tax distribution of goods beyond the factory, which is already explained by Vimalji, which is tax, do not tax only produced goods, property, electricity, alcohol and some services, and multiple taxes and cesses. As far as state VAT is concerned, it does not tax services, it's a cascading CST effect, local body taxes are there, denial of credits, there is a different rules are there in every state, multiple taxes, entertainment, law, luxury tax, purchase and entry tax, and absence of single market, that is what present indirect tax structure. Now let us go to the major milestone indirect tax. Friends, when the import committee who designed our VAT structure in India, the same import committee also designed the GST structure, how it will be introduced in India. When this roadmap of GST concept was originally envisaged by Dr. Kelkar, he said that there should be only a single GST, and if single GST would have been implemented, I can say it would have been 12-lane superhighway. But as usual, we are very much well versed with the roads wherein we have some potholes, some leakages, some diversions, some encroachment, then only we think that yes, we are traveling very well in the road. That's why we don't have the super lane, so 12-lane superhighway in India. Therefore, GST will be on supply of goods and supply of services. The concept of sale of goods, manufacture, provision of services will all totally disappear. Distinction between goods and services considerably will be reduced, and it will be in a different format is coming in future. Now, before let us go to the main topic, these are the questions which are generally asked everywhere. Whether the basic structure of our constitution would be changed or amended, even the constitution amendment bill 122nd is introduced in parliament. Whether political system in India would permit smooth launching of GST, we are observing, they are not allowing us. Let us wait for the Bihar election results now. Whether the central government and state governments are serious about GST, this is a big question. Is it so easy to implement GST in India looking to the federal state structure of India? We have the two state structure, central as well as states. That is why USA has not adopted the GST as on today. USA has not adopted the VAT also as on today. Vimalji, I am wrong or am I right? Will it be a central GST or state GST or India GST, IGST? What will be the model of GST? What is the time frame for introduction of GST? Whether road tax, passenger tax, stamp duty, toll tax will be taken beyond its ambit, or whether it will be part of GST? With the phase out of the GST, the concern is CST sale would be zero rated, or would it be considered an exempt sale, or whether CST Act will be abolished? What should be the tax base for dual GST? Now let us come to the main topic. Why Constitution Framework Amendment is required? All of us are aware that Center is only empowering to levy the tax on the commodities to the manufacturing stage. Now power to Center will be given to tax the goods beyond the manufacturing stage, power to states to tax services, And of course, there will be a binding mechanism on both center and the states for harmonious rate structure. Now, constitutional amendment, which has proposed and defined goods and services tax. That means any tax on supply of goods or services or both. Very important phrase. This definition is going to play a very major role. Any tax on supply of goods or services or both, except taxes on the supply of alcoholic liquor for human consumption. So alcoholic liquor for human consumption has been kept out of the GST. To be extended to crude, diesel, petrol and natural gas and ATF from a date to be notified on the recommendation of the GST Council. That means from the day when the GST will be introduced, these goods will not be covered, but it will be included in the later stage. And what will include the goods? Goods includes all materials, commodities and articles. It's a very inclusive definition. And service. Already Vimalji has told you what is meant by service. If you recall, the Congress regime, they introduced the Constitution Amendment Bill, but they did not define the services also. The 122nd Constitution Amendment Bill specifically provided and defined services means anything other than the goods. So everything is covered, nothing is left out. So this is a very broad definition, and I think with this broad definition, all the disputes relating to whether goods or whether services, all these will be decided. And so, role of professionals will come down. Implementation through multiple statutes, yes friends, one for the CGST and at the center level and one each, every state will have the SGST. Now what will be the two, CGST and SGST? Today we have the excise and service tax. As we are having the VAT under the state laws. If you put it differently, I will say it's a wine in a two different bottles. Same wine in a different bottle. And ultimately it is going to happen like that. I am giving you a practical hints, that one will come on that. The Constitution Amendment Bill says that there will be GST Council which is to be set up. Additional tax on supply of goods at the rate of 1% to be levied and collected by the central government for up to the period of 2 years, or it can be extended further to 2 years, and it will not be available by way of input tax credit. So what is going to happen with that? It will have the cascading effect of the CST to the extent of 1%. Then the compensation to states for loss of revenue arising from implementation of GST up to 5 years. Here they have given the status where the GST government is thinking first year 100%, second year 100%, third year 75%, like that. So friends, now it is very clear. Multiple statutes, one for CGST at center, one each state for every state. Intrastate supplies, this is another unique concept, is coming in the name of IGST. Intrastate supplies is made for the, even though when we make a two sales within the state, there will be a CGST, there will be SGST. But when we will make when we will make the interstate sale, then there will be a third GST. Nobody knows, everybody is talking about dual GST, I am calling it the third GST. That will be in the name of IGST, Integrated Goods and Service Tax. Now friends, we see the taxes being subsumed in the GST. Which are the taxes which is going to be subsumed in the GST? As far as the CGST is concerned, Sale Act, as on today, Central Excise Act, additional excise duty under Medicinal Toilet Preparation Act, Service Tax, additional duty of customs, CVD, SAD 4% and surcharge and cess. All these taxes will be subsumed in the GST in the form of CGST. As far as state is concerned, SGST is concerned, we are having the VAT, sales tax, entertainment tax, state cesses and surcharge, entry and purchase tax, taxes on advertisement, luxury tax, lotteries, betting, gambling, all these taxes will be subsumed in the state GST. Taxes not likely to be subsumed in the GST. These are the taxes, state list 2, which I showed you in the beginning, that is a part and parcel of the state government. the excise on alcohol, except industrial alcohol. Industrial alcohol become part and parcel of the GST. But except industrial alcohol, that means alcohol for the human consumption will be part of the state. State is empowered to continue with that. So personal this alcohol which are for the human consumption will be out of the GST net. The rate of tax cannot be controlled by the central GST council. Excise on opium and narcotic drugs, stamp duties, electricity duty, taxes on vehicles, taxes on goods and passengers, tolls, etc. All these will be out of the GST. And taxes to be considered later by GSTC, as I said, as specified for petroleum products like crude, natural gas, diesel and electric vehicle. Now let us see the repercussion. Petroleum has been included constitutionally, but not zero rated. It will be later on. It will be covered. Electricity included constitutionally, but likely to be kept out. So distribution may be taxed. Cascading effect will continue. Alcohol outside GST. Tobacco is outside the GST. Why? There is a benefit of it. Can anyone tell? This alcohol, opium and narcotic drugs, friends, this is a major source of revenue for any state government. As rightly said by our chief guest also, that every state government is looking to how to increase the revenue. So this is the one area where the states have been given the full authority to levy the tax at whatever level. So even we know that every year the taxes have been increased on the cigarettes or alcohols, everything. But still people do not stop to go for the drinks. They go in the bar or they consume the liquor at home. Similarly, like narcotic drugs as well. So this is why this is one of the major source of revenue has been given to the states. You deal with this commodity as you wish. The political will as you wish. You want to increase, you can levy the rate of tax to 100%. We don't have any reservation problem. Now, friends, very important. Taxable persons are remain under GST. All type of persons, see very important, all type of persons carrying on business activities, whether he is a manufacturer, whether he is a job worker, whether he is a trader, importer, exporter, and very, very important, all types of service providers are now taxable persons. If a company has 6 branches in 6 different states, then all the 6 branches will be considered as taxable entities under each of the jurisdiction of the state government concerns. As far as this amendment is concerned, this is as on today also, if we are having branches in any other states, we are getting registration done in those states also, we are doing those states. But not for the CGST, now everything will have to be done. For central excise, we have the registration only at the place of manufacturer. Now you will have to get it yourself registered for the purpose of CGST also in those states, if you are carrying the business from that state. As Jain has already told you that GST will be applicable on supply. So the earlier concept of manufacture, sale, provision of services will lose its relevance. So anywhere, wherever the concept of supply will come, it will be GST will be applicable. As he has already said, the word supply has been not defined. Nowhere given in the constitution what is meant by supply. So what will happen tomorrow? This supply means as on today we know the Sale of Goods Act is what it says. If it is a sale for a consideration, then tax gets attracted. What will happen to free supplies? You know, in many commodities like pharmaceutical, there are free supplies has been given. Whether it will be taxable under GST or not taxable. What do you feel? It will be affected. GST will be affected on free supplies? Yes. Why?
I doubt it because it is for health reason if it is being given.
It is for the health, so it should be exempted. Okay.
Free samples are also being covered under excise. Free samples at the moment are already covered under excise. So probably that same
logic will apply and then free goods will be taxed. Right? Yes. If you see the on today, the many states is having the concept of tax on MRP for the purpose of VAT. And in those states, if the goods, this tax is collected on MRP, then the free goods are not allowed. On free goods also, they have to collect the VAT and pay to the government treasury. So even many high courts has given different judgments. We will not go into those judgments right now. So friends, concept of manufacturer will go away totally. No controversies. No any controversies will arise whether this is manufacturing, this is services, whether it's a software package or whether it's a consultancy. All these things will go away. Whether the process of manufacturing will be challenged or not. No, it will not be challenged. This is what we are expecting. Let us still affirm on that. So friends, basics of the GST. GST will be tax on goods as well as on services. Taxable event will be supply of goods, supply of services, and import of goods or services. Taxable when supply is made for consideration, very very important. The concept of deemed supply is very very important. You have to see the answer in the next presentation. Interstate supplies. This is one the important concept where I want to bring your attention, friends. Integrated GST. As of today, we have the CST. When we sell the goods to the outside Maharashtra state, we collect the 2% CST against the CFOM. If CFOM is not provided, then we levy the full 25% tax and sell it to the outside state. The outside state officer who is buying the goods from us, he is not able to take the input tax credit of sale. Now, what is going to happen in the GST? In the GST, all the supplies in the interstate trade or commerce will be levied and collected by the same. Right now also CST is getting collected by the central but again appropriated to the state governments. The concept has been kept same in the mind by the government but in a different formats. Now as of today, present the constitution bill which is lying in the parliament says 1% additional tax by center, means in the form of CST you can call it, for originating state for the 2 years and can be extended further. Now, original state says that the state of Maharashtra is selling to Gujarat. So, this 1% tax will be appropriated by the central government to the state government of Maharashtra. Now, why this 1% concept has come or 2% come from? If you remember, earlier Congress government wanted to bring the GST, and who was opposing it? BJP.
Yeah.
But more prominently Narendra Modi. If you, many of you, I don't know whether knowing the provisions of Gujarat state, even as on today under the BAT is what? If you are making interstate sale, there is 1% retention on ITC. If you make a stock transfers outside Gujarat, retention is 4%. So basically the concept of GST was opposed by the Narendra Modi, without thinking that once he will be Prime Minister and he is going to implement and everybody is going to oppose it. So this is what happened, friends. Let us not go in those details. Now imports need to be supplied in the course of interstate trade and commerce. So now imports will be part of the GST. How the input tax credit will be available to us? As on today, we know that excise duty, we are very much familiar with the concept of excise duty sell-back. We pay the sell-back to on our purchases, we take the credit and adjust against our duty liability. Similarly now, CGST can be adjusted against the CGST. CGST input tax credit can be adjusted against liability of the CGST. SGST, again state GST, input tax credit can be adjusted against the output of the SGST. The very important part is IGST. As on today, we don't have the input tax credit of the CST. But the central government has proposed now this IGST, which will be consisting CGST as well as SGST. Suppose I am making sale of 100 to the state of Gujarat. I will levy CGST of 10%, I will levy the 10% of SGST, which will be known as a IGST 20%. It will be a combined rate of both the taxes, CGST as well as SGST, and that 20% will be charged as an interstate GST, IGST. The tax rate will be 20% in the form of IGST. Now this IGST credit will be available to us or not? This is very, very important, the base of the GST to remove the cascading effect of taxes. Yes friends, IGST is made available for the input tax credit. Very, very important. But how to utilize this IGST? You can, if you have purchased the goods interstate, let us take example, you have purchased the goods from the Rajasthan or Gujarat or any state, and you have paid the IGST on those purchases once GST is implemented. This IGST you can utilize for the purpose of by way of ITC input tax credit. First you have to clear your IGST liability if it is there. Then balance is there where you can utilize for the purpose of CGST. Local tax collection on the point of CGST also you can adjust your IGST. And if any balance is left out, then you can adjust against the SGST. So what is the end result will be that whatever you have paid by way of IGST, by way of CST in a different terminology to use the present terminology of central sales tax, you will get full input tax credit of that amount. This is the beauty of the GST law which is coming. As far as if you ask me what is something new in the GST, I will say this is the new in the GST. This is a new concept, very good concept, and industry should be happy with this. So very clear here. The rules for taking a utilization of credit for CGST and SGST is yet to be aligned. The central government is yet to say that what way you are going to take credit. But SGST you can adjust against SGST, CGST you can adjust with CGST, and IGST you can utilize in all the three formats of the GST.
Sir, what happens to the credit? Can it be utilized to pay the 1% additional tax? Or does the government expect that the 1% additional tax has to be always be paid by
1%
cash?
additional tax is nowhere part of GST. It is additional tax. So additional tax is not available for the purpose of ITC.
So at all times it has to be paid by cash or PL, whatever.
Yes. So credit eligibility business to business, as far as business to business is concerned, full eligibility will be available, credit is available, but when business to consumer it will go. I am putting in very simple terms. When it will go to business to consumer, consumer will not entitle any credit of it. So very simple input tax credit. Again, as I said, SGST and CGST again. As on today, excise duty can be adjusted again on the CNVAT is adjusted again excise duty liability. VAT is again VAT liability. Similar concept is continuing in the GST. So CGST and SGST you cannot have the cross utilization. Very simple. Second thing, it is not refundable. As on today, excise duty is refundable. Excess CNVAT available under excise duty. Refund is available?
Yes. As far as I know, it is available.
No, sir. You can carry forward. As far as CNVAT is concerned, you can carry forward. As far as VAT is concerned, you get refund. But as on today, what I have learned from that, it will not be refundable except in case of exports and supplies to SEZ. If there is supplies to exports and SEZ, then you will get refund of it.
That is like drawback.
All exemptions to be harmonized. Already, Jain Sahab has covered that. There are lots of exemptions in many states. So, Kashmir is having different. Uttaranchal, all these people is having the exemptions. What will happen to that? Now, here the GST Council, which I said is part of Constitution Amendment Bill, they are going to decide and finalize all the exemptions which is available to the different formats in the different states. So, what they are saying is that it will be harmonized between the center and as well between the states across goods and services. As on today, services there is no any exemptions according to my knowledge. Now it will be covered, right? और है कुछ पता नहीं, मैं ज़्यादा सर्विस का नहीं करता हूँ. Of course, friends, Central is empowered to issue additional exemption on an all India basis. Central has kept that power with them because now Andhra Pradesh, Telangana and Andhra Pradesh, those two divided countries, they are asking for exemptions. They are bent upon it. If they say if you are not going to give us exemption, we will not pass the SGST bill itself. We will not even support it for the constitutional amendment bill. So these things are there. So there may be possibility exemption in some form, maybe in the cash refund form, but will be made available in those states as well. So friends, as I said, CST Act will be abolished or not. There are many wrong conceptions in the minds of the people that after introduction of GST, CST will altogether will be eliminated. No friends, CST Act will continue. I will bring to you another one more slide where how it is required. So CST will be retained, but as I said, 1% tax, as somebody was asking, will play the role. It may be possible they will call it 1% additional tax or they will call it 1% tax. It is yet to be decided. Then non-GST goods, alcohol, petroleum products are not covered under the GST. So as far as those goods are concerned, when it will have the interstate transactions, the CST Act will continue as it is. Then as we were talking about additional tax 1%, whether when the GST or constitutional amendment means all supplies to be taxed. So whether supplies in the form of stock transfer will also be taxed for the purpose of this 1%. This was also bone of contention, as said by earlier speaker, that Congress is opposing this, or the person who drafted the GST is also saying the 1% tax on the stock transfer will be also cascading effect. So now the recommended select committee which was formed by the Rajya Sabha for the deciding the factors of the amendment of the constitution bill, they recommended that this 1% tax, additional tax, only when there will be interstate supply of goods for the consideration. So if there is any interstate sale between the two states, though IGST will be there, additional 1% tax will be there. When there is no interstate sale but only a stock transfer from Pune branch to Gujarat branch, Maharashtra branch to Gujarat branch or any other branch, there will be IGST, but again credit is available in Gujarat state. The very, very important part, friends, the last point, that is power of central government for declared goods removed. So far, till today, we are well versed with the concept of declared goods, where the state governments have been having restricted powers to levy the tax, VAT, or even for interstate goods, interstate transaction, it is double the local rate of tax. But now this concept of declared goods is totally getting away, getting removed from the constitution. Which are those declared goods? Generally or more frequently we come across is iron and steel. There are many, this big list is there. But what will happen to that? The effect of this removal of the declared goods will result into some of the goods, there will be a levy of tax at a higher rate. So prices may go up at the end to consumer level. This will be the very, very far-reaching amendment is coming in this form. So friends, lastly, just I will touch upon GST key features, that central and state both will have the concurrent power to levy tax on all the goods and services. The important part is both central GST and state GST to be levied on common base price. What is common base price? As on today, we are levying the, see, I am manufacturer of goods, my sale price is 100, then I am removing from the factory. On 100, I am levying the excise duty of 10%, it becomes 110. Then I am levying the VAT on that 12.5%. So I am levying VAT on 110. Under the GST, what is going to happen is, we have to levy both CGST and SGST at a common base price. That will become 100 only. So the cascading effect on the taxes will totally go away. Now another part is, GST is a destination-based state GST. Means the goods will be supplied from Maharashtra, it will reach to the Bihar, and the Bihar state will get the revenue of the same. This is what the bone of contention between the developed states and Imaru states or underdeveloped states. That is what our chief guest was also telling. That is why the bone of contention is fighting or revenue is going on between the 2 states or 4 states or 5 states. And they are fighting tooth and nail, and that's why this 1% additional tax, which is now will be having the cascading effect from 1 state to 2 states. If it goes on rolling the movement of goods, then it will have cascading effect. But that 1% tax is meant for this purpose only. So very important, there will not be litigation because there will be uniform classification. Goods, for the goods there will be HSN system or ITC code. Services, it will be tradable services under GATT. Uniform returns, challan, etc. and collection procedure for central and state GST. 13 digit based PAN common registration, PD6 system to track the transaction. No cascading of central and state taxes, and cross credit between central and state is not allowed, as I said. Now friends, whatever today we have the PAN number, we have the PIN numbers for different everything. Now these all PIN numbers will be converted into 13 digit number under the GST. But it will be again with the PAN base. As on today our PIN numbers are not PAN based, not based on the PAN number. Am I right, sir? Now, in future what will happen? After the GST introduction, our PIN number is going to change. So friends, in the GST tax will be levied from production, right from the production to the stage of consumption. Everywhere the taxes will be there and it will operate in parallel. CGST and SGST will operate in the parallel throughout the supply chain. Then it will have the common market all over India. Of course, the very important part is taxpayer-friendly measures like e-refunds and e-filing will reduce the interface between the administrator and ensure corruption-free regime. This is what again a big aim of the government, or we can say big expectation of the industry, that we will get e-refunds and we will get e-filing mechanism. Already we are having e-filing mechanism, but it will be in a simplified form for both the acts. And there will be a corruption-free regime. I don't know how much it will be, they will be successful to give us the corruption-free regime, but this is what they expected. So friends, there will be only 3 types of taxes. One will be, there will be only income tax, there will be GST, and third one tax will be, as we are, everyone is paying, that is property tax. Now,
There will be a single return for the GST, CGST and IGST.
this is what we are expecting, and that there will be a single return, and from that return itself the revenue towards CGST will go to CGST, SGST will go to the SGST. But that's why we have kept one more session here. Mr. Bhagat is coming, we will speak on the state preparedness of the GST. There we will get more idea whether there will be 2 returns or single return. But according to me it should be 1 return. This GST will enable the next phase of custom reform. Customs, as of today, custom is not part of our reform under GST. Once GST is implemented, then I think customs will also be, will have the changes in the Customs Act also. Then definitely, what will the effect of this? Wherever the firms would like to go to the low cost production centers, they will like to change their production processes, they will like to change their place of business. This is how we have discussed. Now GST Council. Here in this new Constitution Amendment Bill, friends, this is the most powerful center, most powerful place, wherein the entire GST mechanism or gamut of the GST will be finalized. They are going to finalize everything, whatever it is. Even we may read something in the newspaper or we hear from the platform, we say so many things, but ultimately everything is going to be decided by this GST Council. Who are the members? Union Finance Minister will be chairman, and every minister of the every state finance minister or anybody nominated person will be their member. This GST Council is going to give us the broad details. What will be the GST Act? What will be the CGST? What will be the different state acts in the different states? What will be the floor rate? Whether special rates is required for the act. Suppose there will be, let us take example of the Assam. There is a natural calamity of the flood. The Assam government asking for a certain concession. Now, after implementation of GST, the powers are given to the GSTC. They will give the concession only for the state of Assam. That in your state you can reduce the rate of tax. This is the beauty of it. The very important thing is GST law to be harmonized. As far as the concept of valuation, here the cost accountants are sitting. Why concept of valuation I am talking? We are well versed with the provision of CS4. Cost accountants are certifying CS4. Very often, very frequently. Whether this CS4 will continue in GST or not. Any comment?
As case of interdivision transfer and the doubling.
Pardon? inter-unit transfers. So now it is destination based tax. Where the question comes. Let us see, friends. As I said, we have the two diverse opinions on that. I am of the opinion that there will not be any role for the GST valuation CS4 concept as such in the GST. I am quite sure about it. But there may be the concept of valuation may come only for the purpose of stock transfer, where the state government may ask for the right valuation is to be done. But then whether the powers will be given to state governments to demand that or not, that we are not aware of it. Let us see and wait for the proper law is going to come in picture. As I said, friends, once this constitution bill will be passed, thereafter only within 60 days President will form this GST council and all the things will take place. And the very important part is that whenever any decision is to be taken in the GST council, it will be taken by the 3/4 of the majority. So the what beauty of it, the center may have the BJP, state level may have the another ruling party. So the disputes between the two, center and state, will be only accepted or will be resolved if it is supported by the 3/4 majority in the GST council. Flexibility to choose the tax rates. There will be 2, 3, 4 rate structure. That is what as on today we are expecting. There will be a standard rate to be finalized. It is not yet finalized. Somebody says 12% CGST, 12% SGST. Somebody says 10% plus 10%. No one knows. And if you ask me, I will say it should be 25%. It may not be successful. Let me tell you one story, friends. Wherever, I don't know whether this is the correct acts which came to me. Wherever the GST has been implemented all over the world, the ruling power who introduced the GST was not able to come back again in power. And it's a fact. Even Malaysia, who was introduced from 1st of April 2015, lots of representatives, you can say, people are coming on the road and fighting for the rates. Very simple reason. As on today, we are familiar, rightly what he said, we are familiar with the VAT rate on the bills, 12.5%. Because goods is manufactured, excise duty levied at multiple, it goes in multiple channels, it comes in our hand, last point levy of tax, that is VAT. You know it is 12.5%. The moment you will get a bill with 25%, your blood will start boiling. And you will start criticizing. You will say, Modi ji, अच्छे दिन नहीं है, हम आपको वोट देंगे. It is going to happen in India also. Means they may get me over, that is all different issue. But the real impact is going to have in this country. Because ultimately we are going to suffer.
Will the prices not go down?
Pardon?
Will not the prices go down?
Prices will go down. When it will go down, when the competition will play its role. If competition doesn't play its role, monopoly plays its role. In case of monopoly, prices will not go down. In case of competition only, and that too also in a different version, there will be two types of competition. One is some people say, I am ready to compete in the percentage term. Somebody says, no, I am ready to compete in the absolute terms. Then again pricing, that in that structure only the pricing will be affected or not. That again a different issue, needs to be studied properly. It's a totally different impact calculations. That may Nawal Saab will take to that. I don't want to encroach on this topic.
Sir, 1 minute.
Yeah.
Don't you think it is neither industry friendly nor consumer
No, I am
friendly?
coming on that, so whether it's friendly or not. It's definitely industry friendly. Impact of GST on the total over exchequer. See, if GST is implemented, why Modi Saab is also looking for that, why all the state governments are also looking for that. See, additional tax revenue by GST will be, it is said by experts, that it will be 1 lakh crore per year. Additional revenue will be generated, 1 lakh crore per year. And if central government decides to raise that 1 lakh crore, even by way of total disinvestment proceeds, it will take another 5 years. So that 1 lakh crore of rupees, instead of going for disinvestment in the next 5 years, you can raise in 1 year's time. This is what expected really from the GST, and that is why every state government is looking for the resources. Chief Guest also said same thing. They have to bring the equity between the two things, and they need the revenue. Which are the resources now? GST is the best resource. Stock transfers, friends, as I said, inter-unit transfers, whether it will be now tax. Yes, it will be tax with the rate of IGST, and that will be again input tax credit will be available to you. I said here the valuation will be done for stock transfer goods for the payment of CGST, for the payment of GST. But as I said, whether valuation provisions will come under the act or not, nobody knows. Issue of 1% additional tax are already done. Select committee report, this is again, as I said, constitutional amendment bill was introduced in the Rajya Sabha. A lot of debate took place, or debate is not took place only outside the parliament only. Parliament then decided to form a select committee. Select committee also gave its report, and they said definition of supply for 1% additional tax in the GST. You add an explanation and say if supply is made for a consideration, then only 1% additional tax. So interstate said 1% tax, and stock transfer only IGST, no additional tax. Compensation to states, very important part. Here is the select committee says 100% compensation would be provided for the states for a period of 5 years. It's a big question mark, but still central government is ready to make that amendment and give 100% compensation to the states. I'll give a simple example. When DAT was introduced in the state of Maharashtra, the revenue was only 18,000 crores. Down the line, as on today, the revenue is around 72,000 crores. So I don't think that this compensation issue will come up. But yes, it's a theory. People are afraid. Government said, okay, no problem, I'll give you 400%. But government is also knowing it, state government is also knowing it, their revenue at any cost is going to increase. Band rates, explanation to be added under GST laws. INSAF was telling, Congress is demanding that do specifically give the band rate of 18%, 20% under the constitution itself. And that is not acceptable. Every time you have to go to the college, the GSTC will take a call. But it has been said in the constitution amendment bill, the GST council will decide what should be the rate of tax. Constitution will not decide. This is what the bone of contention is going on between Congress and BJP. GST rate of banking services. There also, banking services should be kept outside the purview of the GST. That is what select committees say. Or if you want to keep it, then the GST rate for the banking industry should be minimum one. This is what the recommendation of the select committee. Let us wait and watch what finally government accepts. Friends, all processes in automated environment of the GST. GST network. This is again novel concept, which is a separate SP has been formed by the government of India. They are working day and night on that. And this will be a e-registration will be there, e-returns will be there, e-refunds will be there, e-audits will be there, e-appeals will be there. This is also a new concept, but is coming. And of course, as I said, IGST credit will be totally online. And this is totally highly automated environment. This is what expected, and that is what GST network is working, GSTN. That team is working, where the central government people, state government people, both are working. And I think the last speaker will speak much more on that GSTN network on this. I will not take your time. Very important part of this control through the team, or as I say, national GSTN network. The most important part where I would like to focus is a mechanism like 26 days under income tax act. But as on today, when we claim the PDS, we get the PDS claim only if it is appearing in the 26 days. If it is not there, income tax assessment doesn't give you the credit of PDS. Similar thing is going to happen under the GST. So friends, what end effect of it? The professional will not be able to play any major role. According to me, a BCom guy who is having good computer knowledge will become important factor in any organization. This is again one of the impact also. This is what I. We will have our own in a different form. So friends, GST on exports, as I said, it will be zero rated exports. It as on today, whatever provisions are applicable for the export or SEZ, similar provisions is continuing under the GST. There is no need to study on that. Let us look to the administration. Two parallel administration, center and states, with coordinated action in some of the areas like audit, dispute settlement and enforcement. If there are two teams goes for enforcement or a purpose of raid to the client's place, the dealer's place, see what will happen to him. Either his BP will shoot up or his diabetic will, sugar will increase or he may get an heart attack. So these are the areas where the central and state should work together and find out how it can be minimized. Taxpayers below a threshold may be handled by the state administration. This is what is in the media also, and central state government is also looking from that perspective. Central government has already decided that whoever is the dealer whose turnover is less than 1.5 crore will be monitored by the state authorities. SGST, there will be uniform threshold. Our chief guest was also mentioning about 25 lakhs of rupees. As on today it is 10 lakhs, it will go to 25 lakhs. But this 25 lakhs threshold will be applicable for the goods and services both. So as on today our service tax registration is more than 10 lakhs. Okay, it may go to the 25 lakhs. Both put together. CGST threshold as on today also we have the 1.5 crore below 1.5 crore turnover manufacturer exempted from the excise duty. Similar threshold may continue in the GST also. But friends, very beautiful part of it. If you go for the threshold limit of 1.5 crore, the impact will be you will not get the input tax credit which you have paid on your purchases in the form of CGST. To that extent you will be loser, and to that extent in the competition you will be loser. In the competition your price will be more and your competitor price will be less. There will be a special composition scheme for the small scale sector, even up to 25 lakhs or up to 1 crore or up to 1.5 crore maybe with a rate of tax of 1%. But if you go for a 1% of a composition scheme, then again you will not entitle for any input tax credit. Similarly, like as on today also the provisions under the VAT law say if you are under composition, no ITC is any available to you. As far as these other part is concerned, let us wait for another speaker who will speak on the administration part. I will just keep that. Very important part, friends, appellate machinery. Whether states and center will have separate appellate for the deciding matters relating to SGST and CGST. One side we says that everything will be uniform. Then we will have the two separate appellate machineries. And if yes, whether decisions of the central appellate authority will have precedence over the decision of the state appellate authority. It's a big, that's why I put the question mark. And if you know, let us see that no, CGA, central government appellate authority will not enter into the what has been decision has been given by the state appellate authority. Then how will GST regime will resolve the conflicting judicial proceedings pertaining to classification, credit development, etc. This is the really a big question is going to come in the future. Cross-border transactions we have seen on that. So let's friends, time is running short. GST possible schedule. Passing of amendment bill, constitutional amendment bill, nobody knows. Big question mark, we don't know. Once constitutional amendment bill is passed, then GST Act will be introduced in the Parliament for the CGST, and they will give the SGST Act in the respective state government, where all these state government assemblies will pass that act. Thereafter, the rules are framing. All these things is going to take at least 6 to 9 months. So we are in September. Amendment bill is not yet passed. GST network is yes, friends. It is a work in progress. After the passing of constitutional amendment bill, let us see the GST law. from launching from the 1st of April 2016. I don't think it will be launched from that. Now there is one big debate is going on whether it will be implemented from the 1st of April 16 or 1st of April 2017. People under the mindset that if it is not implemented from 1st of April 16, then it will be implemented from 1st of April 17. But friends, my perception is totally different. What I am saying, this tax is transaction-based tax. It is nothing like to do with the income tax. It is nothing like to do with the concept of resident of the person where the tax is there. It is a transaction-based tax. So I am of the opinion that it can be implemented from any date, say 1st of June, 1st of August, 1st of September, 1st of December, or 1st of January. What will be the problem is transitional things, transitional provisions, impact of those transitional things, which will be the only impact, but that impact will remain same whether I am implementing from 1st of April 16, whether I am implementing 1st of June, or whether I am implementing from 1st of January 2017. The impact of those transitional provisions is going to remain same. So I am of the opinion that it may be any day provided constitutional amendment will get passed. Of course, there are lots of administrative bottlenecks, so let us not go in that. Mr. Nawal sir will take care of it. So friends, still long way to go, and very few minutes to go for the lunch. Issues pertaining to related to state autonomy. States are still looking for autonomy under the GST. They do not want to have the abandoned taxation. They don't want to lose the taxation powers. They are still saying to the RAP, who is this GST seat, who will decide the rate of tax as far as the states is concerned. They are still asking for the autonomy, and where the Tamil Nadu is pitching ahead, and Orissa is also asking for that autonomy, Mamata Banerjee also, but ultimately they are going to fall in the rate and they are going to activate. Corruption due to check posts and border. As I said, check posts are very, very big source of corruption as of today in India. As far as Maharashtra is concerned, we are very progressive. लेकिन सब आप बता रहे थे कि महाराष्ट्र में एक पैट में प्रोविजन है जो बाकी किसी स्टेट में नहीं, और वो क्या है? Whatever you have debited to profit and loss account and you have paid the VAT on that, will be input tax. This is the one provision which is only in the state of Maharashtra, most progressive provision, which addresses even the illegal GST also. The check post in Maharashtra, we don't have the check post. We are not aware that what is the pains of the check post progress. The people in Uttaranchal, in all those places, the trucks gets detained at the border for 3 days, 4 days, 5 days, and you know the penalty. Penalty is how much? If suppose the tax quantum of that transaction is 100 rupees, the penalty they are talking about 10%, 100%. It's 10 times, sorry, 10 times. And they say you pay it first to the government treasury, then you make it appeal, you get it back. Every state is having very, very different, very, very clumsy procedure. This very dangerous provision, I will say, as far as the check post is concerned. My appeal will be that your state government officials are sitting here, please don't implement check post from industry perspective. Of course, nationwide computer network needed to avoid misuse. On one side, we are saying we will use the credit only if it is like 26 years mechanism is available. But if your computer network is not made available all over India, like states like Tripura and all those places, how you will be able to give the input tax credit is a big issue, and therefore let us look for that. Now, who will be benefited? Industries will be benefited.
I don't think so, sir. If the rate is, you say 25%, I don't think industry will be benefited. I don't think. If the rate is 25%, no?
Input credit you are getting.
But input tax credit you are getting.
Industry, in what way? You will get the credit, but initially the cost, the entire cost, it goes to the person who is consuming it afterwards.
You see, as on today, what is happening? As on today, I'll tell you. Any industry is buying the goods from interstate. They are paying CST, not getting any ITC. Even Senwell Trade also at many of the time they are not getting the full input asset of Senwell. Here, all the things will be available to you by way of ITC. So cost, only value addition will be taxed. To that extent, industry will be beneficial in the competition. Your goods will be cheaper as far as your exports is concerned.
Exports, I agree.
So industry will benefit, sir. Traders and service providers. That's why I put the question mark. We will whether we will really get benefit or not, Mr. Nawal will tell you. Another question I am asking, whether central government or state government. Central government or state government, who will be beneficial? Both will be beneficial. Agreed. And the last is worst hit, you and me, consumers. Because ultimately we are consumers. So we are going to be worst hit.
Exactly.
So friends, there will be only three types of income in GST receipt. One is taxable income, pay under income tax. Second is zero rated income, and third is ITC income. ITC income is what? Can anybody explain me?
Input tax. What do you mean ITC?
You will have two types of expenses. You claim ITC and you don't claim ITC. If I claim my ITC very properly, correctly, it will remain as my income. If I don't claim the ITC properly, if I make a mistake, my income guy who is maintaining my books of account, not audited by a professional, not checked by the professional, then it will be your expense. Is it going to hurt me? GST is going to hurt me? No. Provided I do not get registered myself. I pay below the threshold limit. Nothing is going from my pocket. No problem. I love cash business only. I don't do anything on the paper. Cash business, enjoy karo. My ITC is better than my GST liability. Yes. My supply chain cost comes down more than my net GST liability. And very important is buying fee is better than the cost of compliance. Now the GST cost of compliance will come down. Lots of compliances will be reduced. No C form, no E1E2 forms, state form, all those things will come down. So many things are there which will the compliance will be coming down. Are you ready for the GST, friends? You have to be prepared for the GST. If it is, once the constitutional bill is passed, very less time will be left out for you to prepare yourself for the purpose of GST. So friends, any central government or state government, they go on making the amendments, they go on making the new acts, they go on making the new rules. If you are not updating yourself, then situation will become like this. This is the purpose of this GST awareness, just to give you the brief idea, because it is not possible for any speaker, whether Jain Sahab or me or whether Nawal or anybody, to give you the full explanation about the entire GST. The once act and law rules will be introduced, thereafter also it will require at least 2 to 3 days seminars to clear the entire concepts. So yes friends, therefore you should not fall in this trap and get ready yourself. Ultimately law is law.
It is like head survey, tail you lose.
So friends, it's a law. Whether you are a policeman, whether you are a businessman, or whether you are even a dog, I just saw in the picture, law you have to follow. You can't say, I will not follow the rule. I will not follow the act and rules. So everybody has to follow the rules. So very important friends. Authorities are watchdogs. Dealers are cats. So be careful for caring for the GST. What does it mean? See, when dealer does something as per the law, act and rules, he says, I have done correctly everything. The authorities are looking to the watchdogs. They are looking to the opportunity where you are making the mistakes. So it is better yourself wanted to get the clear for the GST. And with this friends, I once again thank WRC for inviting me and being able to